Back with more Firebase. This time I'm covering RxJs. Okay, I've never used RxJs before. I got a comment on YouTube about, hey, how does Firebase work with RxJs? And I thought, I have no idea. I've never used it. Why don't I take this opportunity to just figure it out? So I went ahead and I figured it out. At least I think I did. Correct me if I make any mistakes. I wanna get this right. Okay, so I'm doing this in Node. It should be isomorphic. It should work about the same in the browser, but I'm requiring an RxJS, initializing my Firebase, getting a ref. Then I've got a little guy here that clears out my Firebase endpoint. Then every 2 seconds, it either adds, removes, or changes some data on the Firebase endpoint. So this is all just that. And then it logs out what it's done, whether it's push data, remove data, or change data. And so you can see that just going here right there. Okay, so let's actually restart this so we get a nice fresh data flow. And it's just randomly, according to some criteria here, if a random number is less than 0.5 or less than 0.75, it's doing this. It's just manipulating the data, simulating how data changes. And then I'm listening and firing off child added console logs, child underscore added, changed, or removed, based on these observables. So you can see it doing its thing, removing, adding, changing, whatever, over here. Okay, and you'll see these are all working right here. So I'm going to pause this because it just takes up CPU on my machine, which is already struggling to record my video. And I'm just going to talk you through the code that makes this happen. So rx.observable.fromEvent. It just takes anything that looks like it emits an event. It can be a DOM node, it can be an event emitter in Node, or guess what? It works just fine on a Firebase ref. And then you pass in the event name you want to listen to, you want to subscribe to in RxJS terminology. So I'm subscribing to the child added event on ref. And gloriously, it just works. I don't need to write any fancy code, any fancy adapters to make this work. They've written it already from event. So it takes any event, turns it into an observable. So that's it. That's all you really need to know. Okay, there's a little bit more. If you want to use a promise, like use on auth or whatever, some Firebase stuff will just works off of promises best, not with callbacks. So in that case, I would use like .set returns a promise. In that case, I do the .set and I just pass it into rx.observable.fromPromise, and it creates an observable out of the promise. And that's it. That's all I really need. From event, from promise. You may notice I'll post all this to a gist so you can do that. But check this out here. I'm even using .once with just from, and it even detects that it's a promise. I don't even have to type from promise. If I just type from, it'll even take this promise and figure out that it needs to be an observable and adapt it accordingly. So pretty straightforward to convert ref events and promises into observables, and yeah, not a big deal. So go learn RxJS. This is awesome. I'm probably going to work it into I fully intend to work it into my architecture from here on out. So thanks for that suggestion, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.